And here we are, the H.E.A.L with Gwenda show, Tuesday evening, 5:30 in the western side of Australia. And good evening, good day to you. Hello to those who have come in. Lovely to have you here. Please do say hello. And also let me know where you are coming in from. Jess Lopez, hello, how you do? Lovely to see you today, Jess. Well, you know, to see that you're here. And everyone else who has come in now. Let's see what excitement we can have today. I've been having a lovely chat with Spirit to see what we can bring for you. Katrina, good evening or good afternoon. Katrina, where are you coming in from, please? So, what have you been up to since I saw you last? Sydney town, Wallen, Victoria. Thanks, Katrina. That's a newbie for me. Rosemary, yes, it has been a long time. Welcome back, Rosemary. Good to see you. What have you all been up to since last week? For me, I've been away over the weekend running 2 one-day retreats, Soul for the Food retreats. They are, thank you, Katrina, they are amazing days where I've joined up with 2 other beautiful healers. And you know what I love about Rena's work and what she calls her business, the power to heal. So we're all about healing, and of course I've been on my bandwagon for decades now about the power to heal and the fact that you can heal your life, you can heal yourself. And for those of you who are new to me, if you jump straight on here and you ask for messages, that's not the way that I work. It's not the way that I work with Spirit. If you are, Katrina, it's your first time, well, welcome, love, very much welcome. I hope you sit back and enjoy the show. It's totally up to Spirit. I am a full channel and a born seer, a born channel, not a learned. I haven't done courses or anything like that, so I work purely with Spirit, and therefore Spirit medicine woman, and that is as Spirit have defined me in my role in this life. And for those who haven't met me before, I am a registered international spiritual mentor. I run spiritual mentorship programs, and through the divine, I have the absolute privilege of being able to see into you and being able to see what it is that is blocking your life, what it is that perhaps the doctors, naturopaths, nutritionists, practitioners haven't been able to nail for you, haven't been able to find a reason for why you've got some pain or some discord in your body. And I'm all about healing. Healing is my gig, and you being able to live what I call a glorious life. Nicole Dundon, hello, darling. How are you this week? Connie from Adelaide. Hi, Connie. Hi, LeGray. Haven't seen you for a little while either. Lovely to have you back. Samantha from the Gold Coast. Hey, you in lockdown in the Gold Coast, Samantha, or is it just Bris Vegas? That's right, Jess. Jess is on it. Gwenda's lucky dip. She's the way to go. Jason, hello, Jason. How you doing? Nice to have you back, Jason. And Jasmine, hi, good evening, Kat Gray. Hi, sweetheart. And Erin Malloy. Newbie from Brizzy. Nice, Debbie. Welcome, newbie from Brizzy. I hope all's going well up there for you in the craziness. LeGray Prosser. Yeah, Samantha, good. Hopefully it doesn't float down that way, hey? So they haven't put you all into lockdown. Trudy, hi Trudy, and yeah, thanks Samantha for the invite. It's very kind of you. Jess, is there anything in your life that isn't random? Katie from New Zealand, nice to see you. Kat, you're in lockdown. What happened? Are you in Brisbane? Oh, you have to remind me, love, you're in Brisbane, you lockdown, horrible place. Toowoomba. Oh, it's floated to Toowoomba. Well, it's very clever, hasn't it, Trudy? I was in Toowoomba a couple of years ago now for a beautiful business expo and spiritual healing fair. It was a really um, interesting visit and really good to attend. Thank you, LeGray. That's really lovely. Um, yeah, Jess. Funny, you're random. Yeah, is your norm. So, everyone, this life is so full of riches and treasures and amazing things, and they're all within you, every one of them. All you have to do, Maxine, hello, thank you for the lovely posy. Looks like a beautiful red poppy. Lovely to have you here, Maxine. Do you know the Muller family? Oh, you're talking to each other. I'm reading messages here thinking you're sending them to me, but you're having a conversation between yourselves. Katrina, that's, oh, thank God it's not in Melbourne. Let's keep our fingers crossed that, the craziness doesn't get down there. Amrita from South Africa, welcome to you. What time of the day is it for you, Amrita? Lockdown isn't good for the soul. No, Katrina, it's certainly not good for the soul. It's not good for anything. But let's see if we can keep you all in some laughs and some beautiful energy. Quite often on my show, you will get to go into a meditative space and we'll bring in some beautiful energy. On the weekend, as I was saying, I co-facilitated the Food for the Soul retreat on both Saturday and Sunday in a northwestern town. Don't ask me about directions. No, I only know how to get on my broom and fly. I don't take any notice of directions. Oh, Rebecca, hi from Newcastle. Oh, yes, Kat, you are Brizzy, love. Well, I hope it's short and sweet, not this stupidity. Thanks, Jess. Laughter is, it's always been touted as the best medicine, and it truly is. If you can laugh at yourself, you'll really find life a whole lot easier than getting bogged down in a lot of emotional baggage. Our emotional baggage is what causes the problems. Well, Jason, you're in the right place. So, while I'm really cooking along here and having a look at you all as I go along, because one of the things that you have done without realizing by being here is you have given me permission to look into you and also to bring messages through for you. And as I said at the beginning, it is totally up to Spirit where they go. I am a complete conduit for Spirit, not a director of Spirit. So let's see who they wish to go to, and also what they would like to talk about. Last week we talked about some really tough subjects, but I am going to come back to that one too. Directions are hard. Yeah, Katrina, I'd just fly by the seat of my pants and trust the crows. That's not the Crows Footy Club, the Crows, those ones. Spirit grabbing me from the arms and shaking me. Wake up, Jess. Yeah, why not? Why not? And how many more of you need to wake up and need a nice big poke to wake you up? Yes, LeGray, fruit of life is laughter, and the other fruit of life is love. The greatest love is your own self-love, and when you have lots of self-love, you find love from others pours your way like a magical waterfall. Emotional baggage affects fertility. Oh, Katrina, now let's have a yap about that. That is a brilliant question. I love that. So we're going to have a look at Jason Millman with his gut issue and not being diagnosed with anything. And Katrina's fabulous question, would you say emotional baggage affects fertility? And Jess has jumped in there on you, Jess. So let's have a look at Jason first and see what's cracking on in there or what's not cracking on in there. Okay, Jason, so on the right-hand side, top right-hand side of your large bowel, also known as the colon, and the top right-hand side is underneath your rib cage. Now, if you were to get your index finger and middle finger and push straight through there, you're going to probably yike with a little bit of pain, because this is a sticking point for you, and this is where all of your gut issues actually stem from, Jason, because when the peristaltic movement moves along, it gets all clogged up there, and you actually have got quite a lot of residual feces and waste matter stuck up there in that top part of the bowel. If you would do the heel of your hand massaging around that area, and make sure you go in the right direction as well. People, remember that the bowel only works in one direction. So for those of you who like to stick a hose pipe up there and blast the out of it, well, you're really going against nature, right? So Maggie, hello. So nice to see you here. Thank you. So when you, for Jason, if you'll release that part of the bowel, you'll find that you feel a whole lot better, and a lot of the issues will go away. I also see a lot of skin eruptions with you, like a very fine dermatitis, a very fine red rash that comes up and goes on you, and that's actually toxins from both your kidneys and your large bowel. So Jason, we can have a further chat if you would like to. Katrina's question, would you say emotional baggage affects fertility? Katrina, I worked with 6 young women 2 years or so ago now, and every one of them had been told that they would never have a baby because they had such severe endometriosis and PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. Every one of them except one now has their child. The one who doesn't is because they decided they were that excited that she was no longer having so much pain and debilitated by periods and ovulation that they wanted to travel and just have loving time as a couple together instead of her being in all that pain. So they were that excited that she was clear. No sign of endometriosis, PCOS, nothing, and beautiful, easy flowing menstrual cycles for her. The other ladies all have their babies and are super excited about that, and can go on and have more. And I will say to you that 3 of those 6 had been down the path of artificial insemination, IVF, which had failed, and those poor darlings had had so many miscarriages, so a lot of heartache for them. And they've all had their babies naturally. It's what you're designed to do. And when you understand what's going on emotionally, so what's causing those issues with fertility, and you heal them, hey presto, everything's good. So there you go, Katrina. I hope that answers your question. Yeah, Debbie Graham, lockdown can also be good. It just depends on where you're at in yourself and what you understand of yourself and your life, how attached you are to the material world, how attached you are to this third dimension. The more attached you are to things and to your habits, the harder lockdown is for you. The less close you are to your own heart, the less you understand yourself emotionally and your heart and soul, the harder lockdown will be for you mentally and emotionally. So Beck Morrow, hello to you, lovely. And that's right, Jess, they don't want to be eating on this show, do they? So let's see what we have. Well, Trudy Morris, no cheating. If you're going to step out, you step out. Samantha Gilbert's not going to be, bringing back stuff. But you can also come back and watch the replay later if you really need to. For goodness sake, Cat Gray. And you had an operation on Sunday. The surgeons actually worked on Sunday. Gee, that's different for these days. Breaking a toe. Which toe was it, Cat Gray? 3rd toe in, so big toe, next one. Or second last toe? third toe in, they tell me. So let's see what's going on with you with that one. Lollipop, that's rather cute. Talking to each other. From England, hello Suzanne Church from England, welcome, welcome. You're very welcome, Jason. You've got some other stuff going in there. You really need to sort out like the bile from your liver. The functioning of your gallbladder really isn't too good. You don't trigger off the bile from the gallbladder the way that the body needs it to be sent across when the digestive process is going on, and that's also causing a lot of problems with you for digestion, Jason Millman, and it's Gwenda with a W. So this in itself creates a lot of issues for the whole digestive tract, okay? Hello, Jodie Marie. Good to see you. Your tea, Jodie Marie, be on the way to tomorrow. I'm sorry, love. I should have taken it with me when I went away on the weekend and posted it to you over the weekend at some point. I've got it here for you and it will be on the way. And so what I'm talking about, people, is Jodie Marie has ordered some of my beautiful channeled, guided herbal healing tea, which you're very welcome to order. Also, you can find the order link on my Heal with Gwenda Facebook page, and I will channel in. And no, I'm not an intuitive because I don't feel. I hear and I see, I smell and I taste spirit entities, other beings, all sorts of things. Kelly McCormack. Well, it's a shame that you both have that. It is something that can be restored. As I said, the lovely ladies that I was working with all had very severe endo and PCOS, and none of them have it anymore. So really important to get that sorted out. You know, one thing for you to understand, people, is that none of these things actually belong with you. You know, when you are growing, when you are created beautifully healthy, right? Now, I'm going to come back to that comment, but you are created with cells and organs that are made out of all these trillions of cells, and they're working in beautiful, optimal order. Now, I have to come back to the way that people live these days and the way that they eat. And we were doing a lot of talking about this on the weekend at the Soul for Your Food, Food for Your Soul retreat on the weekend. Your habits, your food habits, your way of drinking water, your lifestyle habits all determine the health of the cells of your body, and in turn they determine your emotional resilience and your mental tenacity. So if you're eating crap food, if you're eating a lot of processed food, you are going to have a lot of difficulty with emotional tenacity and emotional resilience and mental tenacity. It's a real shame to see the fickle people come in and then they disappear. But anyway, maybe it's too much for them. So, Jess, you need to go out and wind them all up and tell them, don't be so fickle and just because they're not getting what they want, hey? So it is a case of understanding that your choices and the way that you live your life, the way you think, the kind of conversations that you have, these all impact the way that your physical body is able to function, and it's what brings about the discord in your physical self then into your emotional self. They are neck and neck. You know, if you're constantly fueling your body with crap food and crap thinking and full of excuses, oh, but my family make me do this, or I have to for my family this, or my husband or my wife or whatever, those are just excuses. And they excuse you from having to take responsibility for actually looking after yourself. And excuses are longer than a toilet roll. That's been my experience with people. Thanks, Katrina. And it is very much, oh, really, LeGray? Thanks so much. Susanna, you're LeGray's sister. That's beautiful. Thank you very much for coming in. A lot about vertigo. Okay, so vertigo is when you've really, really come out of alignment with yourself. And Vertigo gets you on an emotional, mental and physical level. It just wipes you out. So when you're having the sensation of vertigo, you need to really look at learning to ground yourself. Be grounded very well. And do you all understand the importance of grounding? Being able to ground yourself in the morning, being able to cleanse your energy is so important for how you're going to go through your day, how you're going to manage your day. Now, please understand that I'm not saying, oh, you're going to be perfect and life's going to be perfect when you do this. We're not here to live a perfect life, but we're here to have a grand time, and we're here to live a glorious life. And that's what I like to show you how to do. So being able to roll with the punches and get back up again, get back up on that horse and keep going, that's what your life is really about. And being able to take away the lessons from the things that do come. So vertigo is just the pits. It's horrible. And if you take your time to sit into that vertigo, then you're going to be able to feel where it is that you have come unstuck. So what it is that has pushed you off your railings. So if you think about you trying to track along in your life and you've got your lovely railings, your life path, and something has made you wobble, and it's wobbled so much it's been able to make the railings wobble. Now you feel really out of kilter and you don't know what on earth is going on with yourself. So if you will sit into the vertigo and let yourself get immersed in it, then you'll be able to see what is really wobbling your tracks. Did you notice that I'm saying sit into the vertigo? So any time that you have got an injury, an illness, what's perceived as a disease, if you sit into that and wherever it is in your body, you'll actually be able to heal it yourself. And you will be able to find out what the root cause is. I met a lady on the weekend, and this is par for the course for me, but I met a lady on the weekend who says that for 4 years she's been going between doctors, naturopaths, healers, herbalists, all sorts of different helpers, and no one has been able to find what the problem is. And she says she just keeps going around in that loop and not getting any better. This is not uncommon for me to hear when people come to me. It is, well, in that case, Kat, you better be mindful of the third toe left foot. Third toe after the big toe. So first, little ones, third one. There's actually a fine crack in that toe, dear Kat, so look after it. Put a matchstick underneath it and strap it up. Going round and round in circles. Now here's the thing. When this lady said that for 4 years she's been tracking backwards and forwards all over the place to these different people. Do you know why? Do you know why that has been the case? The answer is because she's done nothing herself to make any change in her life or to look into what is going on in her life that is leading her down this path of feeling sick all the time and having all these physical responses. Have any of you ever been, Justine, hello, have any of you ever been to the doctors or anyone like that, and they've said, oh, the tests have all come back normal, there's nothing wrong with you, and you're going, yes, there is something wrong with me, I don't feel well, I've got this going on, I've got that going on. Any of you been down that path? And then you keep going back. In the end, the doctor gives you some tests or he gives you some medication, and you know why? Just to keep you quiet. Because he doesn't actually know what's wrong with you, but you keep insisting there's something wrong. So he kind of gets tired of it and thinks, well, let's try this. And you won't get any better. So you are your own healer. You do know how to heal yourself. You've just lost your way with the practices and the approach to do it. Jess is saying, I am told I am celiac positive. That always cracks me up. A few years back they did a test to see how bad the damage is, and none. Woohoo! Been a few years, but hey, still kicking. You're a crack up, Jess. Celiac is so easy to fix, as is diabetes too. You know, there are so many things that the physical body can heal itself when you give it the right tools, when you give it the right lifestyle. It will very gladly fix itself. Now, I want to go back to that story what I was telling you about you being created as a beautiful, healthy, everything working being for you to arrive into this world. I've got a couple of things I want to share with you on this, and I want you to really think about it. I heard on the weekend that there is this thing that doctors and gynaes are doing called uterine seeding, and it's where they are putting a mesh over the cervix, over the birth canal, so when the baby, when it's arriving, it comes through and that mesh goes over its face and nose so that it doesn't take up its mother's uterine fluids and any other fluids. This is absolutely absurd. So if you or anyone you know is planning on having a baby, or if you're pregnant now, tell them not to do that to you. This is messing with nature, and it's preventing these babies from having a very good immune system. And I wonder why. I wonder why they would be messing around so that babies don't have a really good immune system. They're filling new babies up with immunisations of poisons and things, calling it helping them. But now we have an immune system that's compromised from day one, and an immune system that was not compromised prior to being born. So I want you to really think about that, because your health, your baby's health, is in your hands, nobody else's. When you understand the tools and you understand the ways of changing your life, then you will get your head around that. So let's have a look and see where are we at. Oh, thanks, Jodie Marie. Thank you, love. Amazing. I think it's the hormones in the foods. Yes, Katrina, it's a lot to do with the hormones in the food. So on the weekend, we were talking about farmed fish, supposedly organic chicken, supposedly organic beef, and, you know, all those supposedlies. So if you're going to eat seafood, get wild caught seafood, natural wild caught seafood, not farmed fish. If you want to know more about that, go and find out what they are feeding the farmed fish, and also go and have a look at all the deformities that are happening and the things that those fish are actually coming to market with that are being cut out of them. Also, when you eat pink salmon, might say it's from Tasmania, but if it's farmed, they have such a dreadful amount of growths and cysts and deformities on those fish. They also dye them so they're pink. So you need to do your homework when it comes to food, what you're eating, what you're drinking, and supposedly what we think of as natural is not natural if it has been farmed, and it's something that should be out roaming in paddocks or swimming freely in the ocean. So yes, where have you gone, Katrina? Absolutely, the hormones is a huge part of it, as is what they are being fed. You know, the Japanese decided that it was unnecessary and inconvenient for the farmer for dairy cows to be roaming around eating beautiful lush green grass, which is what they need to eat, but it was too much hassle for the Japanese, and they felt that it needed to be more productive, so they built these concrete sheds and housed these poor cows in there. Don't see the light of day, don't get to walk around on the earth, which actually brings in antibodies and creates a great immune system for them. And they put them on these concrete slabs, and they keep them in there and feed them man-made chemical crap, and then they are milking them so they can get more milk. Be wise about, if you're a dairy food person, be wise about what you are buying. Do your homework very much, because, as I said to the ladies on the weekend, nobody is responsible for your health except you. And your health is the wealth of your life. You know, I really get on my soapbox about this, because there's no reason for you to be sick, and there's no reason for you to have to live a life on medication. Putting weight on and thyroid issues as a result of feeling energetically and emotionally unsafe. Thank you, Katie. What you've written there, putting weight on as a result of feeling energetically and emotionally unsafe, that couldn't be a truer sentence. You do most definitely put weight on through emotional issues. Putting weight on can be out of trying to create a protective barrier around yourself. Putting weight on can be because you have got a lot of self-anger, self-dislike, done something that you really haven't forgiven yourself about, and of course lack of movement. Now, they will all go hand in hand. If you aren't feeling good about yourself and you're angry with yourself, or you're really upset with yourself, you won't want to exercise. You won't do anything that is actually going to help the physical self look well and be well. You can also go the other way and lose too much weight. That is exactly the same thing. You either lose too much out of lack of self-love, lack of self-esteem, dislike of self, or you put weight on. Thyroid issues. Thyroid is all about the freedom to speak your truth, the freedom to be able to speak freely and feel confident, feel comfortable in things that you talk about. The fear of being put down through what you say, the fear of not being accepted through what you say, or being made a fool of because of what you say. So correcting your thyroid issues means correcting your own sense of self-worth, correcting your own sense of being heard and accepted. Really important. And yes, hormones play a great part with the thyroid as well. So you can tap on the thymus gland, which is just down on the chest, lower down here, and you can tap on there. That will actually stimulate and help the thyroid. You can also go into looking at foods that are stirring up the thyroid. Be very mindful of what you're putting in your mouth. So anything that is, been chemically made is going to cause problems with the thyroid. For Legray, I would like to bring in for you, Legray, that you are actually just about 2 steps away from sitting right in the middle of crossroads of your life. Now, for everyone, crossroads are really difficult, and it is a time of reflection. And when you step into the middle of crossroads, so think a crossroad at a major intersection when you're driving a car. It's exactly the same as on your life path. So you've got the road behind you, which is the road you've just travelled, and you've come to the middle of the intersection. You've got the left and right turns, and I call that the crab dance. So you'll go left and right, unsure, it won't really take you anywhere, and you'll come back to the centre. And then there is, of course, your road going forward, and that's the road that you want to go on, but you can't get there. So, Legray, you're about to enter crossroads, and crossroads can be challenging because they are a time of sitting to reflect. They're a time of review, so you look back over where you've been, but you don't go back there, you just review where you've been and have a look and think about what's gone on there, and how did I go, what would I rather have changed, what would I rather have done. And you sit. Now, the thing about sitting in the centre of crossroads is you might as well get comfortable, because it's never a quick thing to be in crossroads. It always takes some time. And Legray, you're not going to be out of your crossroads until August of this year. So you want to get yourself comfortable, make like you're in a hammock, and just swing around there and enjoy being in those crossroads. And then you'll find that you suddenly have this idea and you're like, why didn't I think of that before? and you'll start to put things in process and in play, and away you'll go. Life will be so much better. Beck Morrow for healing your skin. Anything that is going on, and any of you that have got skin issues, the first place we look is the small intestine and also the large bowel, and we clean those up. But we also clean up whatever it is that is irritating you, because when the skin is irritated, which is toxicity that's being pushed out by the small intestine, by the large bowel. And of course, the skin is actually the largest organ of the body, so it cops quite a hiding. But you want to be looking truthfully at yourself to see what is irritating you, what is making you irritated inside, and address that through journaling, address that through being compassionate, being kind to yourself, and making peace with what it is that is irritating you. If it is another person that's irritating you, then it's still up to you in the way that you want to view their behaviour. You know, I've been working with a young lady for quite some time now, as she's gone through 2 very horrendous relationships. There's nothing quite like being in the frying pan and then jumping into the fire, which is what she did. And funnily enough, hit even worse, same behaviours and yet you're worse in the fire where she's been recently. And thank you, Kylie. Thank you very much. That's much appreciated. So working with her and getting her to understand that the focus, when you put it all on the other person and what the other person's doing or not doing, and what you're hating about the way they're being, or what you're wishing the way that they would be, you're actually losing such a lot of your own personal power when you go down that path, and you lose your way. And this is an invitation then for your physical self to start showing signs of lots of pain, lots of restriction, having what you might call accidents where you bump into cupboards, run into doors, you know, slam your finger in a cupboard, things like that. And it's all because you are losing and giving away your own personal power, worrying so much or putting so much emphasis on what another person is doing or isn't doing and isn't working the way you want them to. So your skin issues need to come down to what is irritating you. Yeah, absolutely. Psoriasis, hi Ali, Carolyn. Psoriasis, I think we talked about psoriasis the other week, and it's a nasty thing to have. And it does very much come down to diet. However, for me, as the level of healing and the level of wisdom that I work at, to make true healing is for you to really understand how you come to create that in the first place, and it's all interlinked. So you will choose foods that will create things like psoriasis, dermatitis, any kind of irritation, because you are irritated underneath and within your emotional body about something that's going on in your life, and that's where you need to start. Justine, you'd like some tea? Yeah, well, I will definitely have Spirit do that for you, and also I'll make sure that you have the link for you to be able to do it. Jess Lopez, that's not always a good thing. That can quite often be a route for denial and avoidance. So, yeah, I'd be laughing at yourself too, darling. At least you're laughing. Jess is saying I can forget something within a few minutes. You know, we don't have to remember everything, and we would turn ourselves inside out if we did. But when we are deliberately not taking things in, when we are really not participating and listening, then there is something serious to be looking at in your life, and being able to find peace for yourself means that you've got to be able to be aligned to yourself. And when you choose not to be absorbing or not to be retaining things, then it's worth looking at whether you are in denial, whether you simply just don't want to be participating, or is it just that the person you're around is really giving you the pip and you wish you weren't there, so you tune out. I mean, I can put my hand up to that. I've done that before. Like, can't be bothered, but you sit there and go, oh yeah, oh yeah. So, you know, have a look at how you're participating in your life. Yeah, Jess, they were. And people wrote lots of excuses on those toilet rolls while they were selling them for a fortune. Oh, you're just too kind, Jason. What is the best to ground? Thank you, Kylie. Lovely question. The best to ground is so simple. Grounding is so simple. It's no great big thing. Plant those feet on the floor. Lift your spine up tall. Take lovely long breaths. Allow your hands to be beside your body and feel the energy as if it is coming out through your fingertips, down through your feet, down into Mother Earth, and then draw back up from Mother Earth all of the vitality and the goodness and the energy that she can provide you. And that's it. That's it. You need to ground yourself into Mother Earth so that you are like a beautiful big willow tree and oak tree. You know, when you watch them in a storm, it's absolutely amazing. And when you can be like that, life's wonderful. I didn't see that comment there. What? I didn't see that comment there, Jess, and apparently it's gone. Okay, so we're looking at a conversation here about anorexia. Now, I don't know how many of you know the story of the young woman who my School of Wesh, which is Wisdom, Enlightenment and Self-Healing, it is actually a legacy to her life. And as far as her family are concerned, she had a mental illness that was called anorexia, along with other things. Anorexia it's not as simple as saying it's a mental health issue. Now, I want to be very clear here with everyone. It is very natural. It's a natural part of life for us to experience sadness, grief, loss, devastation, fear, anxious moments, depression, you know, all of those things that are on the mental health scale are a natural part of life. And even down to, for some people, hearing voices or hearing things is a natural part of life. It does not mean that you have a mental illness. If you have a very severe case of schizophrenia, a real severe case of schizophrenia, it may be said that you have mental illness. Anorexia is through self-loathing, self-hatred. Now, hold on to your hats. You're not going to like some of what I have to say here, especially if the person with anorexia is close to your heart. Because if you're a sibling or you're a parent, you will take this personally and you will feel that you have let that person down or you did something along the way. This is not what I'm saying at all. It is really important to understand that anorexia can be turned around just like anything else, and the greatest part of it is self-love. Now, for the young woman that still don't help themselves, yeah, absolutely, Jess, absolutely. That's been my hardest learning in my work is I can't help people that don't want to help themselves, and so many people don't. It's much easier to play the blame game. It's much easier to hold on to old habits. It's much easier to blame your parents. You know, it just goes on and on. So the young woman that I'm referring to, I met her when she was 8 years of age, and then knew her right up until I did the eulogy at her funeral 2 years ago, and she was 31. She was 31 years of age and she weighed 31 kilos. She took herself on an 11-year journey of destruction, and of course, for everyone else, it's much more comforting to feel that she had an incurable condition. also known as anorexia, bulimia, self-harm. It makes it much easier for everyone else to manage with the loss of a loved one when they've got a title like that, or some other way of being able to accept what happened. But the thing is that with anorexia, it begins very early, and it can also begin as a response to the shock of heartbreak, the shock of trauma can also put someone into a state of anorexia. If only the medical profession would give the time to these people who are experiencing such extreme soul discord, they would be able to actually help them and help them to recover. I had a young man brought to me, when the family brought him to me, he was 19. They had paid tens of thousands of dollars to fly him all around the countryside and one overseas place at these supposed great addiction and anorexic clinics, and then a beautiful holistic place over on the east coast in Queensland, and one in Victoria he went to as well. And while he was there, he was always very good and he made great inroads. But as soon as he came home, he slipped back to where he was before he went to these clinics. And the parents were at a loss. So having worked with me before, and I'd actually trained him, for those of you who don't know, I'm a qualified master personal trainer and Czech holistic lifestyle instructor. So they brought him to my clinic and couldn't believe the change in him. We actually got him off the antidepressants. We got him believing in himself and writing his music again and playing his guitar. Got him to get a job. He hadn't been successful in holding a job. Nothing. And it was absolutely wonderful. And the root cause of the problem was at home. So bringing the parents in to have a talk with them and get them to understand where this young man was feeling not part of the family, getting the relationship between he and his father to be more loving, more accepting. This is where the changes took place. I do not understand for the life of me why the medical system, ever so knowledgeable, because, you know, they study for a long time, that they can't get their heads around this. So for people having anorexia, it is something that can be repaired, and it comes down to the person being able to really embrace who they are and be able to stand in their own glorious self and know that they are worth loving and that they can love themselves. Yeah. So that's a tough one, I know, but it's something that has to be said sometimes. Bea, hello. Didn't see you come in before. Where are you coming in from, Bea? Now we're up to 6:19 already. Goodness me. Thank you, Nicole. Appreciate that. Suzanne, that looks terrifying. What's that about? Which part of it? Kylie Nalon, share, put on weight recently, wonder what needs releasing. So if it's a sudden, actually, Bo, this isn't about releasing. This is more that your body has suddenly decided it's not able to metabolize various fats and too many carbs. But it's not about you having to release anything. It's actually about you needing to give your gut a nice restore and then fuel it with a lot more leafy greens, beautiful green beans, not cannellini beans, not red kidney beans. I'm talking green beans, runner beans. Stay away from peas and lentils. So this is actually your system, not something that you need to release. It's your system that's finding it cannot metabolize the food, and also your choice of beverages. Your liver is not functioning well, so it's actually pushing toxins out into the fat cells, and that creates the weight. Yes, absolutely, Nicole. Absolutely. Childhood and anxiety has caused havoc on my adult gut. Yep, it would have caused havoc on your child gut, and that's just flowed on. Oh, my Lord. Kelly McCormack, what's that? Oh, Maxine. Oh, gracious. Um, look, Ray. That's gorgeous. I love the little monkey faces. High blood pressure, lost 66 kilos, still on medication. Okay, so high blood pressure, we want to be looking at the gut once again. Everything comes back to the gut, people. Everything. So, all the reasons for our lifestyle choices and food choices and what's going on in the gut. If you've got a dirty bowel, a dirty small intestine, you're not going to have clean blood. That's going to put the heart under pressure. You're going to have mucky blood for the heart to try and push around. So if I put that into the context of the oil in your car, and the oil in your car's dirty and you don't go and have it tuned up, then your car doesn't run on all 6 cylinders or 8, it'll run on 2 or 3. Well, your heart is like that. It cannot run properly. Its cylinders can't run properly. Chambers can't function properly if you've got dirty blood. And if you're on medication, you will most definitely have dirty blood. If you've had any form of surgery, you will have dirty blood. And then stress on top of that. And blood pressure is a heart that is under too much pressure. And now I'm talking about the emotional heart. So if you want to delve into the emotional heart and really, Debbie, be very honest with yourself about what you're carrying in your heart and what it is that you're not prepared to release from your heart. So heartache, being able to fix that heartache and let your heart be free. And that's the main message here for you, Debbie Graham, is please let your heart be free of what you've been carrying around. Good stuff, Beck. Yeah, I know. Wow, that's crazy. That's what Jess would say. It's always crazy on this show, isn't it, Jess? You never know. What'd she call it? Gwenda's lucky dip. No. Yeah, Nicole. Ali, I'd have to pitch in here and say dairy's horrible for your body. Well, I was raised in the days when cows free to roam on damn good ground, beautiful pastures. They didn't have their calves taken off them from the farms where we got our milk, because it was actually my uncle and auntie's farm. She had her calf with her, so the cow was very happy and content, and the family only took from her what they needed for them. And that's what families used to do. They used to only take from the cow what they needed. Now, that milk in those days was not messed with. It wasn't pasteurized and homogenized, and the human body was actually a lot healthier than it is now. I don't get that, hey. We're supposed to have come along such a long way, and yet there is more illness, more sickness, more mental disorders now than ever before. Go figure. So dairy now is not dairy of my day. I drink unhomogenized raw milk. I don't have any health issues. Health issues come about as a result of discord in the soul, discord in your own ability to know yourself. That's where they begin. And then food becomes the physical discord in the body. Now, if you've got a crappy system and your bowel's not working properly and you go and eat dairy, you're not going to be able to metabolize that dairy, so you will get sinus problems, headache problems, gut problems, and all sorts of food intolerances, celiacs, what's the other favourite one? Gluten intolerance, lactose intolerance. And what is it really? It's your intolerance to yourself, your intolerance to life. So when something that you are eating, you are labelled as it being intolerant, best to have a look and see where you are intolerant in your own life. Yes, it is poor cows nowadays, absolutely, and that goes for everything. Kylie, too right. It's all about that. So staying away from chicken, anything that is farmed, anything that is fed with man-made muck, not the thing to have. Good eye. My daughter developed really early. Good stuff, Rebecca. The grey. I'm the grainer with weight at the moment, so makes 100%. Oh, the gainer. Okay, lovely. We're going to catch up on your messages here for a moment, everyone. Very sore knees and going through menopause and help that I can get. Oni, thank you, and thank you for being here. I hope you're still here because I see that there's lots of messages here now. Amber, I don't do cards. You must be new to my show, love. I'm a full and complete channel of divine guidance and healing light. Very sore knees. So the knees are all about the ego, Oni, and the knees are about you colliding with the want of your soul versus the want of your ego, and also about your direction. I see your knees as clashing quite a bit and also have an inward turn. So you're really turning in on yourself, and you've second-guessed yourself and not sure about your pathway in life. Menopause, I help many ladies with menopause. Hi Zeta, hi Dina. Alopecia, wow, that's a nasty one, isn't it? And that is tremendous stress and overthinking, over demanding on yourself, and far too much going on in the mind. Thank you, LeGray. Namaste to you also. I don't know, Zeta, interesting name. Yep, I get itchy a lot and around feet and ankles at times. Yeah, that's an irritation coming through from the bowel. Oh, Rebecca, that's a big question, love, and we're just about out of time. I would have loved to have addressed this, so perhaps we can do that next week. Seizures and blackouts, all about not being able to cope with what's going on around you, what's happened around you, maybe what's happened physically, emotionally, and you black out so you don't have to deal with it. It's the same as people that create another part of themselves and, you know, become a different persona. It's the only way that they can survive. You're welcome, Justine. Here is your spirit's tea. Ha ha, LeGray is gorgeous. Tune out often, not like bro conflict. Yeah, Kat. Yep, I'm right with you there. And if anything, you should step away from those conversations. Oh, that's lovely, Kylie. Same as reconnecting. No, Jason, it's not. Good question, though. Jason's asking, is grounding the same as reconnecting? It is a... grounding is your practice to do first thing in the morning so that you do come into your physical self and you ground yourself strongly. Hello, Kay. So that you can be in a stronger place for your day. Hi, Casey. How you going? Have any suggestion on helping her? Oh, there's some great questions down here, everyone. I'm sorry that... oh, you're in London. Lovely. Thank you, Kay. I can't take all of that because, of course, it's channeled through, but many lifetimes. Well, I did call upon a lot of my past selves to come in with all their wisdom today. Oh, Jess, for goodness sake, every week you surprise me with something. Naughty girl, leave them alone, and I can address that next time. And another great one, Zeta. Oh, I'm sorry to see all these comments way down here because I was addressing everything up and beyond there. Yeah, me too, Jess. I'd like to do that too. I'm going to be able to break down lactose and inflammation response and gut. Yeah, we could have a chat about that, Ali. As I said, no issue for me or any of our family that were raised with that way of living and that way of cow. I'm not in agreement with animal cruelty, animal misuse by humans for the sake of humans, over-commercialising, over-farming, overfeeding, and that's what most of the problem is these days, is overfeeding of selves. Just eat way too much. Yeah, that's right, Ali, exactly. It's not different. So There are some fabulous questions here, but here we are already 6:30, and I didn't even get to have a meditation with you tonight. Thank you all so much for being here again this week. I just love my audience. I have a great time with you. I love your questions and to be able to share with you. So I look forward to seeing you again next week, next Tuesday. And in the meantime, I have put my links there if you would like a healing session or a channeled guidance session, and they are both different, very different. Or if you would like some mentoring, I do have one place available at the moment for mentoring. I only have 4 people at any given time that I will mentor personally, and then I do also have my online programs. So you're welcome to visit my website and receive free gifts there that hopefully will help you. And for those who are here tonight who did actually go to the website and you downloaded the free gifts, we do follow up to see how you're going and how you found those gifts and how you're managing with them. And we'd really like to hear back from you when we check in with you to see how you're going. It'd be very much appreciated. Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you, Kylie. Beautiful and be very different. Yeah, that's right. It's an absolute pleasure, Katrina, and thank you for being here from London and around the world, and of course all my gorgeous people from around Australia. Thanks so much. And Jason, good to have you back today. And yes, Justine, it's always a pleasure to see you here too. So I'll look forward. Bye, my darling Jess. Namaste to you, Rosemary. Thank you very much. And everyone have a blessed evening and a very beautiful Easter, because I won't see you until after Easter. So many blessings to you for Easter. May you all be safe, your families be safe, and much love. Good night.